football contest sign-up season is here, and you don't want to miss out on the action. With millions of dollars on the line each and every week in the world's biggest football contest, there's only one proxy to trust, footballcontest.com. Maddie and Tony have set the gold standard for football contest proxy services with 20 years of experience and over 13 million in winnings for their clients. All you have to do is get to Vegas between now and the start of football season to sign up in person, and they do the rest, making sure your picks are entered every week. Whether you want to play in the Circa Sports Million, Circa Survivor, Super Contest Gold, or the new Super Contest College Contest, Maddie and Tony have you covered. Their new website has everything you need to know about these football contests and more, including how you can reserve the best proxy in the business. Experience matters, so go with the pros at footballcontest.com, the gold standard proxy service.
South Point is also proud to provide a variety of relaxing amenities for the guests who want to be pampered. Soak up the sun and let your stress melt away in our lagoon-style paradise swimming pool. A relaxing getaway where you can bask in the desert sun and enjoy seasonal food and bar service poolside. And if you really want to escape, come to Spa Costa del Sur. From couple suites to a co-ed wet area, our spa caters to business and leisure travelers who want to unwind and elevate their senses. A visit to one of our spa's steam, sauna, or whirlpool treatment rooms will leave any guest feeling like they can take on the world. Our gaming amenities include over 60 table games and over 2,600 of the most popular slot and video poker machines. We have penny slots, including the popular Buffalo games, and real machines like Wheel of Fortune, Triple Sevens, and Megabucks. If you prefer video poker, try Deuces Wild, Double Double Bonus, or a variety of multi-denomination games. Or try your hand at one of the most popular casino table games in the world, Blackjack. Don't let the game intimidate you. Blackjack, also known as 21, is both easy and fun. And our dealers are always happy to assist. And the best part? Blackjack always pays 3 to 2. Next, check out the roulette tables. Roulette is one of the easiest casino games to learn, and so much fun to play. It's a favorite of both beginners and seasoned players. In addition to blackjack and roulette, our casino pit features over 60 popular table games like Baccarat, Pai Gow Poker, 3-Card Poker, Ultimate Texas Hold'em, and Mississippi Stud. So get out of your room and come join in the fun.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book. Sports by the book, South Point Studio.
We don't make stuff up here.
I would only play the Pirates team total going under.
What the hell happened to Minnesota's pitching?
This total has really crashed without plumbing the lineup.
I think this number's too high, but they're laying me the 6.
Oh, I know.
Caitlin Clark drives handle on the WNBA.
Never mind all these Mickey Mouse other stations. We are giving you hands-on information.
It's Sports by the Book at the South Point Studio. Here's Jeff Parles and Alex White.
Welcome in. It is Sports by the Book here at the South Point Studio. I'm Jeff Parles. She's Alex White. Chris Andrews is going to be with us at about 10:30 this morning. We've got a lot to talk about from upstairs here at the South Point Hotel and Casino Sportsbook. Alex, a full Friday card after yesterday's a third of a card in comparison to usual.
Third of a card. Hard to find some good bets that we absolutely love, but I think we'll find some today. I am excited to talk to Chris Andrews like we do on Fridays with him or Vinny. We'll get all caught up with From Behind the Book. But as always, Fridays are brought to you by footballcontest.com. We appreciate them being a proud sponsor of Sports by the Book. If you want to enter any Vegas football contest this summer, you got to go with the pros. Experience matters. So visit proxy.footballcontest.com. Use my promo code Alex for a special offer from Maddie and Tony. I promise you, you'll not be disappointed. If you are out of town, you need a proxy, visit Maddie and Tony at footballcontest.com.
Looking forward to it. Getting closer. 1 month from today is week 0, technically. Kansas State and Iowa State doing battle in Dublin, Ireland to get the season going. Actually, it's 20 the 23rd, so it's actually less than a month now until college football season starts, of course. New college contest over at the Superbook. A lot of us have been clamoring for years wanting that contest. So, and of course, all the other contests over at Circus, Survivor, Grandissimo, just regular millions, and of course the Super Contest. And they also got in the Survivor game as well for the 2025 NFL season.
Donations, if you will, at the circuit. No, it's always a great opportunity. And you want to take a shot at what are we up to now on the guaranteed?
I saw this morning Patrick Everson was talking to Jeff Benson. The hope is 17,000 entries. That's what I saw, which is a wild amount of entries. But there you go. That the across the board in Circa. All right, let's get to it. Let's get to baseball here. We actually start with a day game in Milwaukee today. A little bit of 4:10 or 3:10 local time action at AmFam Field on a Friday. Will be a Freddie Peralta day for the Brewers. Freddie Peralta, all of a sudden, he was the unargued ace of this staff for about a year and a half. Now, arguably down to number 3 with Woodruff back and Mizorowski as dominant as he's been. Peralta goes today against the Marlins, who, again, the Marlins have played, all things considered, Marlins have played pretty darn well over the last month. They're within 5 games of 500 all of a sudden for Miami. Again, 6 games out with all those teams to hop. They're not going to make the playoffs or anything, but it's a nice little run for the Marlins, who are no longer, again, 4 games clear of Atlanta. They're well on their way to being a third-place team in the National League East. They'll throw Cal Quantrill tonight. Alex is minus 220 on Peralta, plus 190 on the Marlins, and a total of 8 in this one.
You are right about him kind of dropping down to the second or third, but you know what you're going to get from Peralta. He's very consistent. Really will go 5-6 and only give up 2 earned runs max. Looking at his median numbers at home, he's been outstanding, going 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 6 to 7 strikeouts to just 1 walk. So can really trust him here at home. And I mean, the Brewers are definitely one of the hottest teams right now in the league. On the other side, though, I mean, Cal Quantrill, he's been very good, too. Looking at his last 5 starts, really just 1 bad start mixed in there against the Reds, and only made it 3 2/3 against Milwaukee before that. So definitely an advantage for the Brewers here, but I'm not interested in that big price. If anything, I was looking at full game under, as I mentioned yesterday, kind of been getting bit by these unders with the weather and everything. So maybe Marlins team total under. It is 3.5, but you mentioned it, Jeff. I mean, this Marlins offense has been pretty good.
Milwaukee, of course, enters today with the best record in baseball. The 2 best teams in baseball. I mean, even a month and a half ago, I don't think anyone would have anticipated, Milwaukee's the 1 seed in the National League on July 25th, and Toronto is the 1 seed in the American League. Neither team was really on the radar. Maybe the Brewers as a playoff team, but not this incredible stretch. 12 out of 13 games they've won, and now a shot against Miami. Not a bottom feeder, but a team they are much better than, to continue to get fat and happy in the National League Central. All right, let's go to Pittsburgh next. The first of the Arizona Diamondback dominoes fell last night. Josh Naylor, the first baseman, traded to Seattle. That should be the first, at least in my opinion, at least the first of 4 names that go for Arizona at the deadline, and maybe even more go at the deadline. The Diamondbacks tonight will throw Ryan Nelson. Burrows on the other side for Pittsburgh. Essentially a flip here at the South Point. Diamondbacks a small favorite at minus 110. Total of 9 at PNC Park. Of course, Pirates coming off just decimating the Tigers all midweek long.
I think that had more to do with the Tigers and kind of the slump that they are in. But what do you do with the Diamondbacks right now, right? We know that they are kind of mid-selling right now, and where is the mindset of the rest of the team? That makes me not want to bet the side at all. I do trust Ryan Nelson. I've been talking about him kind of having 1 or 2 bad starts mixed in there, but being relatively dependable and good for them this year, going mostly 6 innings. So I like that side because I was looking at the over. It's going to be some nice hitting weather there. Why not the Diamondbacks team total over? That is definitely on my radar. Over 4.5, you're getting plus price. I mean, this has been one of the best lineups all year long. I don't think taking out one bat is going to really hurt them that much. So that's the way I'm looking. I don't know if it is a definite play just yet.
It'll be interesting to see what Arizona does over the next week, the deadline Wednesday of next week. So we'll be able to see, does Suarez get moved?
I was just thinking, once they take that bat out.
Well, that's a little different. Well, again, the only guys that I feel confident that Arizona will not even think about moving are Corbin Carroll and Ketel Marte. Other than that, everyone on our roster, if you get a good enough price back, I would very much consider moving. In Arizona, they're not, look, they're technically still in it. They're 5 games out, but they have a lot of teams to hop.
Yeah.
Just not worth it in a top-heavy NL in a down year after, again, a World Series appearance 2 years ago and just missing the playoffs via tiebreakers last year. They were 3-way tie with the Mets and the Braves. Mets and Braves won those season series against Arizona. That's why the Diamondbacks were left home. All right, let's go to St. Louis next. Cardinals got finally an offensive performance last night. They had to hold on for dear life despite being up 8-1 early in the game. But St. Louis gets the win last night against San Diego. Final of that one was 9-7. Rough for the Padres in a game where they put up 7 and they can't even get the win. San Diego's 1 game ahead of San Francisco. Giants were idle last night. They're back in action in the game we'll get to next. But St. Louis will throw Michaelis. It's Pivetta on the other side. We've liked betting on Pivetta all year long. This feels like a pretty good price at -125 even on the road. Michaelis has really fallen off the cliff his last few times out.
I mean, that is the only way I would look at it here. Padres -125 full game. First 5 is about -140. Yes, it is a little more expensive, but I do think that it's probably the best way to play it. Just rely on Pivetta and them hanging around for the first 5. I don't know what it is. The Padres, they really got to get those bats going consistently. You're right, though. It was nice to see them get some offense yesterday. But yeah, that's the way I'm leaning right now. Padres first 5.
San Diego, like we said, enters the weekend as a 1-game leader, the final wild card slot. St. Louis is still in this, 2.5 back, but again, 3 teams to hop for a playoff spot. This series will go a long way to seeing what St. Louis's front office decides to do in the next week. They take the first 2. Hey, look, technically a 3-game sweep, a 4-game sweep in this series would put St. Louis ahead of San Diego. So, again, this is a monster series at the right time to dictate what the Cardinals end up doing at the trade deadline. Split the 4, which would mean lose 2 out of 3 over the weekend. Yeah, you're probably selling. Anything better than that? You got a little bit of a debate there in St. Louis.
It's always kind of been their pitching, though, and now they got the win yesterday with Sonny Gray and now it's going to be an uphill battle here against the Padres.
Let's go to San Francisco next. Giants entered the weekend 1 game behind San Diego for the final wild card slot. Giants, the first 4 games were completely non-competitive out of the break. They win the last 2 in Atlanta to at least get the winning feeling back. They'll take on the Mets. This is a big series as well. Mets entered the weekend a half game ahead of Philadelphia for the lead in the National League East. Philly right now is 3 games clear of San Diego, so that makes it 4 of San Francisco. Mets are 4.5 in front of the Giants entering the weekend. Giants have the right starters lined up the first 2 days of this series. They'll have Ray tomorrow. They have the ace Logan Webb tonight against Clay Holmes. -135 on San Francisco, +120 on the Mets, a total of 7.5 by the Bay.
I actually think this is about 10 cents too high on the Giants here, even though there is a slight advantage with Webb over Holmes. But Holmes has been just as good this year. I mean, comparing both of their median numbers on the year, it's 2 earned runs. So that kept me off of the Giants, maybe laying half a run in the first 5 because I do trust the Mets offense more as long as they can get going and continue this win streak. And like you said, kind of that feeling of winning, even though the Giants' bats have kind of been clicking as of late as well. I really have nothing in this one. As I mentioned, I think it's slightly too high, but not enough for me to jump in and take that +120 on the other side. Lean to the under as well, maybe under in the first 5, but probably staying off of unders for a little bit.
I have a little bit of a concern about Holmes moving forward. Again, remember, this is a guy who is starting for the first time in his major league career, was a complete bullpen guy, back-end bullpen guy in the past with the Yankees. He has not gone further than 5 1/3 innings since June 7th. He's not pitched deeper than 5 1/3 since then. He went 5 1/3 on Saturday in a losing effort against Cincinnati. But there is a little bit of concern about the length that Holmes has been able to give, realistically speaking, now for 6 weeks. And by the way, those two starts before the 6 and the 7 inning ones were against Colorado. So you have to take that with a little bit a grain of salt as well. So a little bit concerned about the length for Holmes, at least over the next few weeks. By the way, there's good pitching matchups all weekend long because the Mets have Peterson and Senga the rest of the weekend. And as we mentioned, Robbie Ray tomorrow. So a good left-handed battle in San Francisco tomorrow night. All right, let's go to Detroit. And boy, the Tigers are leaking a lot of oil at the current moment, Alex. Tigers now have lost 10 out of 11. Last night, it actually looked okay for, about 5 innings or so. And then the wheels came completely off in the 6th inning. It was 1-0 Detroit entering the 6th. At the end of 8, it was 11-1. Tigers end up losing 11-4 to Toronto. Blue Jays have taken over the number 1 seed in the American League, which, boy, what a price you could have gotten about 2 months ago on Toronto to have the best record and get the 1 seed in the American League. They weren't even on the radar 2 months ago, and now here they are, 4.5 games ahead of the Yankees, ahead of everyone else in the American League. It would be the AL would go through Canada if the playoffs started today, amazingly enough. It would be on pace for a Toronto-Milwaukee World Series. I'm sure Fifth Avenue would love that if you got that matchup. But look, credit to the Jays. They have played amazing ball for the last 6 weeks, really starting with that 4-game sweep of the Yankees last month. It's Berrios. It is Montero on the other side for Detroit. Basically a flip. Tigers small favorite here at the South Point. Big total, not a surprise with these pitchers today of 9 at Comerica.
No, and that is probably the only way I would look here is looking at an over between these two. I think that's a pretty cheap price on the Blue Jays. I mean, of course, if you're going whole season, you can make the case that this is a flip. But if you're going current form, Blue Jays should be a bigger favorite than that. Comparing these two offensive numbers in the last 7, the Blue Jays are the best going today, batting .309 as a team. 379 on base percentage and a 147 WRC plus compared to the Tigers at a 197 average, 259 on base percentage and a 56 WRC plus. That right there, if you want to jump in and back the Blue Jays, kind of fade the Tigers and this slump that they're on, I could definitely make a case for that minus 105.
Toronto, again, leading the American League right now. Forget just the East. They're leading the whole American League. Detroit still is the biggest divisional lead in all of baseball. It's down to 8. Cleveland fell yesterday. They couldn't complete the 4-game sweep over Baltimore, so a missed opportunity for the Guards, who, again, you see the American League standings. We'll go through all these teams one way or another today, but it is it's a lot different looking than the NL. Let's just go with that, even though right now the Red Sox have the same amount of wins as the Padres do for the final wild card slot. In both leagues. Texas, Tampa, both a game and a half behind Boston for that final wild card slot. Speaking of the number 2 seed in the American League, the Houston Astros taking on the A's. A's got them last night, so that's why Houston's not at the top of the American League entering today's action. Gusto and Springs, your pitching matchup. Astros a minus 135 favorite today with a total of 8.5. Well, yesterday it was a cheap price on Houston, even though it was an advantage to the Athletics with Severino. It ended up working out that way. Today, this is a little more even though I do think that is a little bit of a cheapy price on Houston at minus 135. Again, neither pitcher overly imposing in this game, Alex.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I mean, Gusto's coming off 2 really good starts. Well, maybe not, because he didn't go very deep in those 1 inning for him in those 2. So, I mean, I agree with you. I do think that these are dead even with Jeffrey Springs on the other side. I do think that the Astros have the bullpen advantage, especially Mason Miller did go last night. And offensively, full year, I would say Astros, but really not right now. I mean, we've seen the Athletics up and down, so I'm going to stay away from this one. If anything, I would lean to the over, but I was a lean yesterday too and definitely didn't get there.
Astros minus 135 here in this one, looking to get back on the winning ways. Again, Astros 5 clear Seattle entering today's action. Mariners got a win last night against Kikuchi and the Angels, so a good win for Seattle. We'll get to them in a moment because we go to Kansas City first before that West Coast swing out in Anaheim tonight. It'll be Williams and Waka, the battle of the W's in KC. Royals minus 115, even on Cleveland. Williams actually pitched really well over the last month. His strikeout numbers are way up as well. So, Alex, I'm a little bit, Cleveland is playing better baseball. Yes, they lost yesterday, but I think this is worth a crack at even money here on the Guards on the road against just a middling average Kansas City ball club.
Yeah, I still do think that Kansas City is just a little bit overpriced in the market. Pretty much even pitching matchup. I like what you said. I mean, Gavin Williams has been pitching really good. Coming off arguably his best start, though, 11 strikeouts to 1 walk, 7 innings pitched against the Athletics and 1 earned run in that one. That does make me a little bit nervous. That was at home. Now he's on the road. But, I mean, one of the best offenses going today. I definitely have him highlighted in blue, so I couldn't fault you for taking a shot there. I really found nothing in this one. This was a pretty easy pass.
Up next, we go to Anaheim. As we just mentioned, Mariners get the first game of the series against the Angels. Seattle right now, the 5 seed in the American League. That's good for the second wild card. 5 games behind Houston in the American League West. Again, active yesterday. They trade for a bat in Josh Naylor coming over from Arizona. A bat that, again, Seattle needs any offense they can get, and Naylor will provide a left-handed power bat at the first base position. And here they are today with Brian Wu against Jose Soriano, a piece that very well may get dealt in the next week away from the Angels. Soriano's a dog at home, plus 110, minus 125 on Wu and the M's. Total 8.5 at Angels Stadium tonight.
Another one that I really didn't find anything on, and it's funny because I do like backing both of these pitchers and these teams when they have these pitchers on the bump, but really nothing today. I mean, I think that number's right. I do think the Mariners should be the favorite. I think Brian Wu is step above Soriano, but I do like what I've seen from Soriano as of late, but then he's got a couple rough starts in there. I do think that Brian Wu's the more consistent pitcher going today, so if anything, maybe Mariners first half, maybe even laying that run line, but I think the price is right, so it's not really a value play, more just a feel, if anything.
Mariners minus 125 on the road tonight against the Angels. All right, let's go to the Bronx next. Yankees and Phillies, 2 teams currently in second place in their division, but in command of a wild card spot in their respective leagues. Not the greatest of pitching matchups tonight. That's why you see a 10. Warren and Walker, your pitching matchup tonight. Yankees minus 50 at home. Phillies plus 135. Not a big surprise that we see these type of numbers tonight, especially with the wind blowing out to right in the Bronx. Now, here's the theme today. There's a lot of 50-50 chances of rain across the country, especially when you get from Ohio or St. Louis east tonight. There's not expected to be a lot of rainouts, but there could be some delays. This is one of those, chance of a potential late start, but once the game starts, they should be okay with the way of when the rain is coming in New York today.
You said it perfectly. Not a great pitching matchup here between these two. I do think Will Warren is slightly better than Walker going. Walker really has not gone deep into games, and that concerns me because the Phillies bullpen has definitely been their weakness this year. So Yankees team total over, maybe Yankees first 5. I do think that price is correct with them being that big of a favorite, even against this Philadelphia Phillies team. But one way or another, I'm probably going to be backing the Yankees. The team total is probably a little too high for my liking with a total of 10. Maybe 4.5 juice to the over. But I think I'll go first 5 with the Yankees.
Yeah, you know what? It's a high total. It's a high total. 5.5 now, first 5, minus 20 in this game. So, again, no respect for these starting pitchers. And I don't think I know Warren's numbers are not pretty, but I don't think Warren is a pushover. I really don't. Walker, again, we know what he is at this point. He's a number 5 starter when he's asked to be in a rotation for Phillies. So, again, I'm with you. I'd only lean to the Yankees, maybe even look at first 5 run line for the first, like I said, first 5. You can get, you're only laying $1.10. So it's basically a flip on that first 5-run line. I don't mind doing that with the Yankees here tonight against the Phillies. Again, Yankees lost 2 out of 3 in Toronto. And the Phillies, they are coming off a series win against Boston. But, boy, they blew a golden opportunity to complete that sweep on Wednesday evening. All right, let's go to Baltimore next. Wow. See, the Rockies are really a special team, to say the very least, because Dean Kramer is almost a $2 favorite tonight. And at some books, he is over a $2 favorite. And this is with movement down because Chris and Company opened this minus 210 along with the market on Baltimore tonight. Again, hey, look, Rockies have won 4 out of 6 since the All-Star break. So they're well on their way to getting to 40 wins and at least tying the White Sox of a year ago. But Alex, this is a price on Colorado I think I'd be willing to take just because this is a wild price on the Orioles. I get it. The Rockies are horrible. Freeland's been terrible this year, but you can get plus 185 out there. I think that's worth at least a little bit of a click here on Colorado. And look, if it gets beat, it gets beat. You're betting on the worst team in baseball by margin. They have 26 wins on the year. They stink. We know that.
I will just say, to push back on that a little bit, Dean Kramer's been better than expected, especially in his last 6 starts. I mean, 3 of his last 4, he's gone 7 innings, giving up just 1, 0, and 0 in that one. He does have an ugly one in there at Atlanta against the Braves where he only went 4 1/3 and gave up 5 on 8 hits. But, I mean, even looking at the 2 before that, he was going 5 and giving up just 1 earned run against the Yankees and Tampa Bay. So I do think he can pitch okay here today. He is better at home. He does have a split, just a 2 ERA and a 0.91 whip. So that makes me feel like this number is warranted with him being that big of a favorite. I've got nothing, though. I don't have side total, team total. I have nothing in this one.
Moving to the next one up, let's go to Cincinnati. Rays and Reds. These are 2 teams that are on the outside looking in, but are still alive in the American and National League wildcard chases, respectively. It'll be very interesting to see what these 2 teams do at the deadline. Tampa's minus 110, small favorite with Littell tonight. Martinez on the other side, minus 105, and a total of 9.5 on the Reds and the Rays.
Littell has been really good for this team. In his last 3 starts, opponent batting average just a 197. His medians on the year, 6 innings pitched, 2 earned runs. So I do like that from him. On the other side, I trust Nick Martinez as well. I can't go with an under here, so it's going to have to be a pass. I don't really have a strong feel on this side.
I don't have any idea on the side either in this game. Again, this is another one of those where probably be okay in the way of the weather, but there is a chance of it. Pretty much, again, just hot and humid pretty much everywhere across the, really from St. Louis east here tonight. By the way, wind blowing out to left, but is negligible wind, and it's 90 degrees at first pitch in Cincinnati tonight. Both of these teams on the outside looking in, as we said, both 2 and 2.5 respectively in their respective leagues for the wild card chase. All right, let's go to Boston next. We talked about it. Red Sox, brutal 9-game stretch against high-end National League teams out of the All-Star break. Cubs, Phillies, and now the Dodgers come calling. At least this one's in Boston tonight. Bayo and Sheehan, your pitching matchup. Dodgers, again, even with the walk-off win against Minnesota, 2-4 out of the break with that sweep at the hands of the Brew Crew. Dodgers small favorites at Fenway tonight, minus 120, total 9.5 in this one.
Sidewise, I think that is the correct number here. I'm actually looking at the over. Weather, again, like you've been talking about on the East Coast, even though I really like Bayo and I like what I've seen from him as of late, maybe some of that it's been a little bit lucky. I mean, looking at his batting average of opponents the last 3, 211, but looking at his xFIP, it was a 419. So I do think the Dodgers are going to be able to get to him. I think both. I mean, I like what I've seen from the Red Sox as of late as well. So I like over 9.5. It's a big number, but I think we're going to see runs from both sides. The Dodgers, I do think that they are starting to click at the plate now.
Dodgers, again, leading the National League West by 5 games. That's, again, not the issue. It's getting one of those first 2 seeds so you get a bye into the division series. Milwaukee has the tiebreaker on them, and so do the Mets. So again, if the current division leaders hold on, if there's any tie, the Dodgers will be shipped into the wild card series, which again, anything can happen in the best of three, especially if you line up with either San Diego or San Francisco in what would be a monster rivalry series in a playoff best of three in LA. All right, let's go to the south side of Chicago. Crosstown rivals, Cubs and White Sox here tonight. Imanaga and Adrian Hauser, who's actually pitched really darn well this year for the White Sox. Imanaga's a big favorite, though, minus 180, plus 160 on the other side. Hauser, you have to imagine this is the final audition before someone trades for him in the next week. No sense in the White Sox keeping a guy like this around when you can get even something back for a guy that they signed to a minor league contract 2 months ago.
Yeah.
So White Sox plus 160 today, total of 8 on the south side.
Has been really, really good. I mean, they're a little concerned. Did get hit up by the Pirates, 4 1/3, gave up 3 on 4 hits. No real walks, though, so he has good command. But I do trust Shota Imanaga on the other side. I do think the Cubs get this done. Probably not going to play minus 180 or even tie it up with anybody. Maybe a little bit on the run line, minus 120 for the Cubbies to get the first one against the White Sox here. But the White Sox have been hitting, so does concern me a little bit, but I think Imanaga will be okay. Yeah,
I'm going to just steer clear completely. Just a little bit of an expensive price for my blood here, buddy. You know, Cubs have the second best record in the National League, but currently would be stuck in the 4 seed in what would be, again, a Cub-Philly and a wild card series. My goodness, what a big time series that would be in a best of 3, either at Wrigley or if it happened to swap over to Citizens Bank. All these teams are tight in the National League, 1 through 5 at the current moment, all separated by 2.5 games in the National League. All right, let's go to Texas. The Braves and the Rangers, Evaldi against Wentz. Evaldi's a minus 145 favorite. This is a big bet on Atlanta here tonight. They moved 25 cents from the open in this one. Alex, you're shaking your head. I would imagine you're probably against the market here. We've talked about how much we love Evaldi this year.
I'm definitely against the market. I think if I had to make an educated guess, I would guess that it is because we haven't seen Nathan Eovaldi since July 13th. So 12 days off for him, a little bit of back tightness, but I think he's going to be fine. We saw him come back from a little bit of a break 10 days earlier this season, and he pitched just fine. So I do like that side. I like the Rangers to keep this going. Probably go Rangers first 5, though, and just not even worry about the second half of the game. But, yeah, I'll be back in the Rangers one way or another. I think that's a pretty cheap price here for the much better pitcher and the better team overall.
Rangers very much in the mix in the American League wildcard race, only a game and a half behind Boston and 2 behind Seattle. So they're very much alive, even though they're only 53-50 on the year. By the way, first 5 run line, lay the half a run, minus 110.
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty darn good bet on Texas if you want to take a shot on that one. All right, last one up. Let's go to Minnesota last. The Nats and the Twins. Mackenzie Gore got clocked his last time out. And they're betting against them here tonight. Minus 130 all the way up to minus 165 on the Minnesota end of things. Total of 8.5 in this one, Alex.
Twins have been pretty hot offensively. I mean, I don't blame bettors for wanting to back them. Looking at their numbers, 257, not great, pretty average there as a team batting average, but 356 on base percentage and a 129 WRC plus. I still like the Nats. I really like Mackenzie Gore. I like him to have a bounce back spot here. Much better numbers than Matthews going on the other side. So I'll take a shot with the Nats first 5 too. What are we looking at price wise? Probably gonna have to take that half a run.
Yeah, you can get a half a run. Was it minus 20? Yeah, minus 20, half a run. If you want to take it with the Nats.
Perfect.
Minus 125. Actually, the predominant number, first 5 on Gore. Or plus 110 money line. You can get a plus price and just tie it if you end up tied through 5.
All right, let's do that.
All right, that's a whole slate. That's all 15 games here in Major League Baseball today. We'll take a quick break. When we get back, Chris Andrews joins us next. Got a lot to get to across the board, baseball, football. Hey, we'll have college football games to talk about in 28 days from now, right here, Sports by the Book, South Point Studio.
Football contest sign-up season is here, and you don't want to miss out on the action. With millions of dollars on the line each and every week in the world's biggest football contest, there's only one proxy to trust, footballcontest.com. Maddie and Tony have set the gold standard for football contest proxy services with 20 years of experience and over 13 million in winnings for their clients. All you have to do is get to Vegas between now and the start of football season to sign up in person, and they do the rest, making sure your picks are entered every week. Whether you want to play in the Circa Sports Million, Circa Survivor, Super Contest Gold, or the new Super Contest College Contest, Maddie and Tony have you covered. Their new website has everything you need to know about these football contests and more, including how you can reserve the best proxy in the business. Experience matters, so go with the pros at footballcontest.com, the gold standard proxy service.
South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you've still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book. Sports by the book, South Point Studio.
We don't make stuff up here.
I would only play the Pirates team total going under.
What the hell happened to Minnesota's pitching?
This total has really crashed without plumbing the lineup.
I think this number's too high, but they're laying me the 6.
Oh, I know.
Caitlin Clark drives handle on the WNBA.
Never mind all these Mickey Mouse other stations. We are giving you hands-on information.
Welcome back in. It's Sports by the Book, South Point Studio. Jeff Parles, Alex White. And now joining us, the sportsbook director here at the South Point, representing the entire shield today on his shirt. We know the Rob Lowe hat. You have the Rob Lowe shirt here, Chris.
Well, I'll tell you. So I was with a finance company, in a couple of years of a hiatus out of this business, and we got authorized by the NFL Players Association. We were a young startup company. We had a few guys who were mostly like 4th, 5th, 6th round draft choice offensive linemen from small schools, but they were smart. We invested their money and, advised them on how to take advantage of the 401k and all that other stuff. And just said, they know they're probably not going to be in the Hall of Fame or anything, but send them up for a good life after 30 or 35,
Absolutely. I don't think I've ever seen the NFL poll.
Yeah, so they gave us these shirts.
This is like the first, I think this is the first time I've ever seen you wear this.
I don't wear it that often, but I figured today we're going to talk NFL. I might as well bust this one out.
Well, not only that too, Chris. Last week we did a lot of college talk, which, by the way, win totals are out for all the power conferences, plus the Mountain West and Notre Dame here at the South Point. Conference championship odds also out, which Big Ten Media Days are this week. And, I don't want to react to any sort of anything from those because that's always a fool's errand. But it made me look at the schedules even more. And boy, if Oregon beats Penn State on that Saturday night in September, Oregon ain't losing. I'm just throwing that at you, Chris.
I think that's going to be the whiteout game. I think they pretty much announced it.
It's actually a night game.
I don't know. It's, I'm a Penn State fan. Everybody knows that. kind of cringing at how the predictions, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because all you could do is go down from here. But I like everything about the team, and we'll see if James Franklin can win a big game. He's won a couple, probably. I don't want to say his reputation's undeserved. It may be a little overboard.
It has to be the best roster that he has had, though, to have a
without
shot
doubt.
at the big games here.
Without a doubt. I mean, he's got with my limited knowledge, I'm not a scout or anything like that, but from what I've read, it's probably the best roster in college football.
It's interesting because, like, you think if they're Franklin at Penn State, and Chris, I brought this up to Vinny a few weeks ago. I know I brought this up to you last month when I was doing the early numbers. Penn State came out at number 1, and I shuddered as soon as I went through on everything. But look, it's a roster that's loaded, and it's funny because they were loaded a year ago. Obviously, you lose Abdul Carter, and you look like you might be a better team. Is kind of crazy. He's had Barkley and Chris Godwin on the same team back in the day as well. But the way the schedule breaks too, if you can split Oregon and Ohio State, you're going 11-1. You're going to the Big Ten championship game for the second consecutive year. And if you win that, you're penciled in for a trip to Pasadena and the Rose Bowl, basically.
Yeah, I think I mentioned on the show, I have them and Ohio State rated number 1. Those two both equal, and Texas half point behind them. And Oregon a couple notches down. Although Oregon seems to just replenish that roster pretty much every year. And if you've been to that campus,
No.
If you've been there, you can see why. Plus a ton of money behind them. So I mean, it's they've become one of the great programs really the last couple of decades. So I mean, they're going to be good. But I have them a couple notches below. But can they go into Penn State and win? Hell yeah, they can.
It all depends on the quarterback in Oregon.
Right,
Because Dante
exactly.
Moore, we saw a little bit of him at UCLA.
Right.
It wasn't pretty, but how much of that was UCLA and how much of that was him?
Yeah, by the way, UCLA might be a little sneaky better than people think. That's another one. They signed, Nico?
Amaliava, yeah.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
and I was reading today where like a bunch of other guys signed after that, brought in some guys. And I know week 1 they play, a pretty good Utah team. I think that number's a little high myself. Yeah.
So they also all the week 1 numbers out as well.
Yeah, week 1 numbers
Are
right,
here at the South Point. I forgot to mention that. You said that was on the way, and it was within 24 hours the last time you were here. By the way, you mentioned UCLA. It's actually fun. They come here. They come to UNLV week 2. So,
is that right?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so Utah and UNLV right out of the gate. So not the easiest of draws in non-con.
No.
And UNLV does not look to be any sort of pushover whatsoever this year. They
Not anymore.
Look to be the second best team in the Mountain West again.
Probably, yeah.
Just behind Boise State. All right, Chris, let's get to some stuff that you put up recently. And Alex has one of the sheets in her hand. I have one in front of me. So you put up the most regular season passing yards, the most regular season rushing yards, and the receiving yards. I have the quarterbacks in front of me. Joe Burrow is the betting favorite at 6-1 coming off of his massive year. And it's funny, Chris, because the vibes feel so bad in Cincinnati right now because of all the nonsense with Trey Hendrickson's contract. Their first-round pick, Shamar Stewart's not in town yet. But the vibes are awful on defense a year ago anyway, and Burrow had what was the best year of his career. And Alex and I were having this conversation earlier in the week. It doesn't feel like Cincinnati's missed the playoffs the last 2 years, but guess what? They have missed the playoffs in the last 2 years, despite the big-time numbers from Burrow and the rightful favorite in this market.
Yeah, and I'm getting a lot of money on their season win totals under, which, I could see. I went into last year, and I think on this very show, I talked about how Mike Brown, was gloating he had 12 rookies on the roster. And, I know Mike Brown, just following the Bengals all these years, he was happy to just have 12 rookie salaries rather than
100%.
What most teams have, about 8 rookies, something like that.
Less, probably.
Yeah. So, he's thinking, well, I saved 4 or 5 veteran contracts, and, that's just the vibe that Cincinnati puts out. Now, they've had their couple of good years, and, of course, they made the Super Bowl twice with Boomer Esiason. One with Boomer and one with Ken Anderson.
And then, of course, the one with Burrow.
And one with Burrow.
Yeah.
So they've had their success, but it's always like they're a little disappointing. And, Burrow, the betting favorite at this point, because you figure that defense is going to be garbage again, especially if I don't get Hendrickson in. And he's going to probably have to be playing from behind, or at least playing to score a lot of points at some point.
This is the I don't want to use the word weakest, but it feels like this is the weakest that division has been in a while, right?
That's a good point.
It's usually all four of them are going to be good, and maybe the Browns not necessarily at quarterback position, but you knew their defense was always going to be. But now it's kind of, you don't know. It's like the Ravens, Pittsburgh's an unknown, but they're probably higher than the other two. But in the past few years, I remember all four being like right there for that number one.
Yeah, Pittsburgh definitely a wild card. And I mentioned that we're getting a lot of different opinions on them, and I could see exactly why. The Bengals mostly negative. Jeff, you talked about the negative news, but the betting trend has been negative. And the Ravens, I mean, that's another team. They've been solid for about 20 years. And there's no reason to think they won't be this year. But Pittsburgh kind of has their number. Pittsburgh
beat them at least once.
Yeah, I mean, they seem to beat them at least once almost every year. So I mean, I don't think that's really a cakewalk, but I do agree with you, Alex, that division suddenly maybe not quite as good as we've looked at them in the past couple of years.
It's. I think Alex just made the best point about that division too. Where last year, remember all the hype going in last year, even with Pittsburgh. Remember, it was Pittsburgh was the one who looked at as going to be the team that was down, and they of course ended up making the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Alex and I's Cleveland Brown preview is already out on the Sports by the Book YouTube page, and we give them basically no hope this year.
Yeah.
With probably the most confusing quarterback room that's ever been assembled in league history.
It's got to be right up there.
But it's.
Have you read about the Giants, though? Okay, go ahead.
Hey, at least we know who's starting week one already in New York. But Chris, it's funny because the AFC, like as a whole, it's been a while since we thought the AFC West as a whole is going to be good. Mm-hmm. Alex and I recorded our Raider preview earlier in the week, and really just to give away a theme more so than any plays is like, hey, if you plop the Raiders in the AFC South, we'd be picking them to win the division. Yeah. They're just in the wrong division right now, and that's because that division is a behemoth across the board.
I think that I'm with you. I think the Raiders are going to be vastly improved. Matter of fact, I just moved their win total up. I mean, it's still low, 7.5-ish.
Sure.
I think I was at 7.5 under. I went to 7.5 flat this morning because I think they are in a tough division. They're going to play KC twice, in Denver twice, and the Chargers twice. But I hate to tell you, Pete Carroll's had success everywhere he's ever been, and I think all of a sudden that roster is just not as bad as it was last year or the year before. It's a decent roster.
I think it'll be interesting. I think it'll be between the Raiders and the Steelers to maybe get that 6th playoff spot.
Oh man, my household is going to be, because my wife's a big Raider fan. I got to tell you, it's going to be fun.
It's the AFC again. Well, of all the preview, all 32 teams will be on the YouTube page over the next few weeks. We have some more birds to preview today after the show, so be on the lookout for all those coming out through the next few weeks. Alex, want to head over to those other two markets that Chris just put up as well?
Yeah, so looking at the receiving yards and then the rushing yards having the most regular season, Jamar Chase makes sense, is the favorite now, 6-1. Actually, that is what you put it out too. Justin Jefferson, 8-1. Nico Collins, 8-1. That's interesting if the Texans can get over that sophomore slump, right, and have another good year this year.
I think they will. Yeah. Everybody's talking about Jaden Daniels, and he's great, no doubt about it. But everybody forget about C.J. Stroud? I mean, it seems like everybody kind of forgot about him. I mean, he did have a down year last year compared to his first year. But I love this kid coming out of college. I still love him. I think this kid is really good. I think he's got a good organization and everything. I would not I'm not sure he's going to win any one of these things,
right.
But, I mean, don't have him too far down the list. That kid is good.
I don't disagree with you. And it's funny because we've done a lot of just because of the order we're doing things. The AFC South is not looked at as any sort of power we know.
Definitely not.
Stroud is still even with that down year, he's the best quarterback in that division by a huge margin over Lawrence and then whoever the hell's playing in Indianapolis at this rate. And
I think it's going to be Jones myself, but I don't know.
I still feel like if there's anything left in the Richardson tank, you got to at least start with him. And then if it goes on E, you flip the Jones.
Here's where I would dispute that. I think Steichen might be under some pressure this year. He needs to win. And, maybe And I think that's a flaw that we see a lot in the NFL is a lot of these coaches, you don't have time to develop a quarterback.
Right.
You know, you have to go out there and start winning. And I think Jones gives him a better chance of winning. And Richardson, talented kid, he just has no experience.
Well, and you brought up how young he was. It would not hurt him, you're right, to be developed, to sit behind somebody if Daniel Jones can
hold the ball.
Yeah. Do a good
I mean,
job
Anthony Richardson's still only 23 years old.
23 years old.
I mean, he came in again as a 21-year-old kid.
Yeah. And
again, he only played in 24 games in his career in Florida, started only 13 games. It just, we never really seen a quarterback prospect like this. And usually when we see guys with limited experience, they usually bust out because of the exact reason you just said there, Chris. But, you know, it's, Richardson, is Richardson even on here? 250-1. There we go, Chris. You know, do you want that for most passing yards?
God bless.
Is that the same as Tyler Shuck?
Yes, Shuck. Oh, well, actually, the longest shot on this board is Kenny Pickett.
And rightfully so.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if Pickett's going to be the week 1 starter.
I'm not sure he's going to make the roster.
That would be something else if that happened. They just kept the 2 rookies and cut Pickett.
Yeah, and they got Flacco.
I think Flacco's going to start week 1.
I think Flacco will start week 1 too.
Yeah. That's by the way, that's Cleveland, Cincinnati week 1. By the way, Chris.
Yeah. Okay.
So Cincinnati needs to be better than the last couple of years and actually get a win.
They only won once with
week
Burrow.
1-13 in the last 14 years.
Wow.
Week 1.
That even goes.
And I think that really, again, goes to Mike Brown and excuse me, a lot of the management decisions.
Chris, you also put up NBA season win totals for next year super early.
Yeah.
Look at that. The Summer League champion Charlotte Hornets at 26.5. By the way, I didn't say anything about that last week, Alex, but it's pretty sad for an organization at the high watermark of your franchise's history is winning the Summer League, but that's pretty much what the Charlotte Hornets, if you're going to give them the past history, all right, that Alonzo Mourning shot against the Celtics in the early 90s, sure, but it's like the best moment they've had in probably 30 years as a franchise.
I'm stealing this line from Dennis Miller, but it's like being valedictorian of summer school.
Yeah, pretty much. But any action so far on these win totals in the morning?
Just put them up.
Just put them up. Okay.
Yeah, so no,
Defending
nothing.
actual champions Oklahoma City Thunder at 62.5.
I mean that's a really well-run organization. And so much anymore in all these pro sports, you just have to look at the organization, and that's a team. I mean, they've done it well. They had to suffer for a couple of years, but in the last couple of years, they've been just a model franchise the way they run that thing.
By the way, quick MLB trade that just got announced. Ryan McMahon goes to the Yankees from the Rockies. So
really?
That's actually a 2-pronged thing. First off, the Rockies lineup is now even more ridiculously bad than it already was. Yeah. And number 2, that pretty much McMahon's going to play third base. That more than likely eliminates the Yankees from the Eugenio Suarez sweepstakes as well. Okay. So that's at least something to watch, that Suarez market at least closing by at least a team here in the early goings of the trades. Again, the first salvo shot yesterday with Naylor going from Arizona.
Oh yeah, what was the other one?
So Naylor from Arizona to Seattle.
Yeah, okay.
There was this one this morning with McMahon to the Yankees. Gregory Soto got traded to the Mets from Baltimore. So names you've at least heard of, sure. But the big name Suarez is still. That's going to go down. We know how that goes. The biggest name of the trade deadline gets traded, realistically speaking, at 1 minute before the deadline on the East Coast, more likely than not.
Why not? See what you can get.
Yeah. Chris, I just want to ask you too, because you brought it up last week and they came up quickly. How's the action been on the week 1 of college football numbers you threw up there?
We're really starting to get some business. We had, a guy who's been a customer of ours for a long time. He came in, rattled the board. I know he bet 4 games yesterday. We had another guy bet, I want to say 3 games yesterday. The guy that rattled the board yesterday for 4 games, he was in early in the week, and he hit us for about 4 or 5 games. So we definitely have some movement. We have some two-way action on a couple of games. I'm adjusting my power ratings.
Two-way action.
As we go, because, like I said, a couple of guys who are betting us, I have tremendous amount of respect for. And, at this point in time, I'm on like probably my 5th draft of power ratings, but it's a volatile thing and you have to keep adjusting. And like I said, when you get, and Paul Stone hasn't been in yet to bet us, but guys like that, when they bet you, you really have to pay attention and maybe, take a look and see maybe you missed something along the way.
College-wise, any movement on win totals that jumps out to you?
Yeah, we had a couple actually yesterday. Baylor, we got bet pretty strong on the over, and I think Baylor's going to be a good team this year. We got bet on Pitt over, and we had it kind of low, and really that conference, you take away the top like 3-4 teams. There's a lot of mediocrity in there.
Sure,
and so I could see where that team could make a little bit of noise. We've had USC got bet over. And again, I think USC, they definitely had a down year last year, but I think that's a team that's very eligible to rebound this year. And again, tough conference.
Yeah.
That's, it's Big Ten. Hard to think of USC in the Big Ten, but, between the Big Ten and the SEC, those schedules, you have to look at the schedules. But I think USC has a very good chance of rebounding.
You bring up Baylor. That's one of the Baylor-Auburn week 1 is low key because it's Friday night.
Yeah.
Has been forgotten because week 1 is insane this year. Obviously, you have Ohio State and Texas.
Yeah.
You have Alabama.
By the way,
Florida.
we've got Baylor week 1 too.
Yeah, well, I was just about to bring that up because looking at the market for this game, so you guys actually have the best price on Baylor available right now, even with getting bet on.
Really? What do I got it? I might have to go take a look at that.
You open Auburn 2.5.
Yeah.
Auburn 1 right now.
Yeah.
Comparing to Circa and Superbook, which we all agree that
Sharp outfits.
We've now have mentioned the 3 sharpest outfits here in town. Baylor is 1 at Superbook, and it's a pick at Circa.
I might have to go to pick.
You might have to go to pick.
Yeah,
right?
I have to go take a look at that.
That is a great week 1 game on a Friday night.
Yeah.
And Baylor, we talked about it last week a little bit. Baylor ended last year with a flurry.
Yeah.
Yes.
They struggled early because of quarterback injuries and their defense couldn't stop a nosebleed. By the end of the year, they were one of the 3 best teams in the Big 12.
And we mentioned Kansas too.
Yeah.
I got bet on Kansas week 1 as well.
Yep.
So the action's starting to come in. And like I said, at this point in time, mostly sharp guys betting. But one kid comes in and he bets us. And, he's betting us. Well, I usually put him on. I don't want to say how much. Put him on for a little extra. But he's been a good customer of ours for a long time. But, he bet more than that. I could tell you that. So but he rattled the board pretty good.
There are so many good games week 1.
We talked about Farmageddon over where else in Ireland.
Guys are sitting
That's
steady
a
at 3.
terrific game, man.
Well, again, week 0, we mentioned this in the past. Usually week 0 is all right. You get the game in Ireland where Notre Dame beats the snot out of somebody. It was Navy 2 years ago. Last year, we were alerted very quickly that Florida State did not have much of a pulse. And now Georgia Tech ended up being pretty good, but Florida State
we didn't know that then.
We had no clue. But again, there's 5 games week 0. One of them, the FCS FBS game is UNLV. So I know you guys will put that number up sooner rather than later against Idaho State. But you mentioned Farmageddon. You're sitting steady on Kansas State as a 3-point favorite. A pretty good conference game with Sam Houston State and Western Kentucky.
Yeah.
Western Kentucky's a 9.5-point favorite in Bowling Green. Kansas, you mentioned them. They're up to 14 against Fresno. And then Stanford and Hawaii, which actually, Chris, it looks like you guys just took a nice whack on the Rainbow Warriors because you have Hawaii favored now in that game.
We did take a whack on them, yeah. That's one of the around the country, they don't realize, the Hawaiians call Las Vegas the 9th island, and we get a lot of Hawaii money. I'm not sure how much to take that into account. I'm not sure about Stanford either, and I know you got Andrew Luck now as the general manager there, and the coach.
Frank Reich's
the interim coach, whatever that means. Aren't all these coaches are pretty much interim, aren't they? So we'll see how that goes. I'm not sure Stanford's going to be back this year, but with Luck and Reich, I think maybe they have a chance of rebounding. That's another program that has been terrific, really, for the last couple decades, and going back even further than that.
I will say, I know that I'll just be totally wrong or whatever it is, but boy, I don't think Stanford's going to be good at all. I think they're going to probably win 3-4 games at most.
I think I got their win total 3.5. Is that what
3.5 is what you have juiced to the under. It looks like if my eyes are correct there, but make them an underdog. They're an underdog against a Hawaii program that's still probably not there yet. Yeah. It's not like there's a home field in Hawaii anymore now that they play basically in a glorified high school stadium on campus.
No, it used to be I'd give them 5 points for home field. Now it's I'd have to look, but it's probably 3.
Aloha Stadium now completely condemned, doesn't exist anymore.
Is that right?
Oh,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, but there you go, Chris. Before we let you go, and then we'll get the whiteboard and the trivia question on the other side of the break. Baseball wise, got a compact race in both of these leagues at the top all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Detroit can't win a game. The Dodgers can't beat the Brewers. This has turned into a pretty amazing 2+ months to go here in the baseball season.
Just how crazy baseball is. The Pirates get swept at home by the White Sox and then sweep maybe the best team in baseball, right after that. Baseball is just one of those, and the old adage was always every team's going to win 60 games and every team's going to lose 60 games. You have to figure out the games in between, the 42 or whatever it is in between. I'm not sure there's teams that are going to win 60 games this year.
No, this year.
I can think of 2 that probably won't. But, it's just kind of watch those prices when you're betting big favorites because, a lot of dogs win, and even in the most unexpected circumstances.
And they have been this week, that's for sure.
Dogs have been great, honestly, since the All-Star break.
Yeah.
Well, we've had a hell of a week.
No, the dogs have been great. Well, look, when the Dodgers have a losing homestand, that's usually a pretty good sign for you, Chris.
Yeah, Dodgers, and then like I said, between the White Sox and Detroit with Pittsburgh, those were 2 great series.
Oh, and Colorado's won 4 games since the All-Star break too.
Yep.
I don't know how long that's going to hold up. But
probably not, especially now trading arguably their best hitter. I don't think so. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we get back, Alex, your whiteboard will be ready to roll. We'll have the trivia question answer when we get back. Sports by the Book, wrapping things up for the week here at the South Point studio.
We have 11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or, if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south of the border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside.
Welcome back in. Sports by the Book, wrapping things up for the week. Chris Andrews is here. So is Alex White, of course. I'm Jeff Parles. All right, trivia question time.
Okay.
See if Chris can do this. This is a little bit of a wordy one today, but it's a good question. The 25th Summer Olympics opened today, and of course was in Barcelona in 1992, featuring something called the Dream Team, Chris. So the trivia question is, can you name at least 5 of the 10 total NBA teams or college teams that featured a player on the roster? So there were 10 total teams between NBA and college. Can you name at least 5?
Sure. Well, let's start with Duke.
Yep, the Christian Laettner, of course.
Christian Laettner.
Yep.
Celtics.
Larry Bird.
Lakers.
Magic.
Knicks,
Ewing,
Utah.
Malone, Stockton.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So that's 5.
That's 5.
Warriors, Mullen.
Yes. There you go. 6.
Let me think. Spurs, David Robinson.
Admiral. Yep.
Was Charles Barkley was with the Suns or the
There you go.
Suns?
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's 8.
Well, you're missing one obvious one.
Oh, the Bulls.
Yeah. Yeah.
That Jordan guy,
Yeah, the
right?
Jordan guy's pretty good.
Yeah, he was pretty
good.
And
And then the last one.
the last one. Oh, man. I'm trying to think of who was on that team.
That had,
I didn't hear, so okay.
yeah. Well, the hint I'll give you is he played college with another Hall of Famer. He was a college teammate of a Hall of Famer and a former number 1 overall pick.
Alonzo Mourning?
It's a good guess.
He wasn't on that team,
He was not, though. He was on 96.
Yeah. Jeez.
Chris is not looking at the screen, by the way, everyone at home. So,
I'm not looking at the screen.
So I'll give you it real quick. It's Portland for Clyde the Glide.
Oh, Clyde Drexler. Okay.
Was the last one. But
Yeah,
9
okay.
out of 10 is pretty good.
9 out of 10. Okay.
Nick got back on the board, naming Chicago, Portland, New York, Boston, and San Antonio. And he added the Lakers, Utah, and the Blue Devils to get to 8. So I like how Leitner was the
I
first
beat him
one.
by 1.
Yeah, Leitner was the first one. When I saw the question
Well,
this morning,
yeah.
that was the one I went to. Let's get the college one out of the way.
I remember everybody said about Shaq, and Shaq obviously turned out to be a much better pro. But to tell you the truth, Leitner was a better college player.
Well, people argue Leitner's the best college player of the last 50 years, basically.
You can make that point.
Yeah, non-Kareem and Walton edition, but
Yeah, or Larry Bird or Magic even. But but those guys. But did Bird play 4 years? I think he did. Leitner did
didn't he?
too.
Because he
got drafted.
He got
the year
drafted,
before.
went back, and then
Went back,
Yeah,
yeah.
because he didn't want to play in Boston initially. Boy, how that would have been different.
Oh man!
All right, Alex, ready for the whiteboard here on a?
I am.
on a Friday morning.
Put this whiteboard up.
Yeah.
All right, back to 4 picks for me today. I'm going with the Yankees back in Warren. Think he will pitch well there today. Going run line. First 5, -110. I'm going with the Rangers and Nathan Eovaldi run line as well for the first 5, -110. I'm taking a shot at a dog. We were talking about the dogs barking. I'm going with the Nationals. Mackenzie Gore, bounce back spot here for him. +110. I'm going first 5 for that as well. And then let's just get some runs there in Fenway. Dodgers, Red Sox over 9.5.
You and I are simpatico on those first 5 run lines with the Yankees and the Rangers. A little bit surprised that the market's gone against Eovaldi like they have today, not like Atlanta. Atlanta probably should be selling, but again, how much are they going to want to sell with all those young guys under contract? And really, just realistically speaking, just one bad year for Atlanta.
I wouldn't. Some of these guys that sell, they give up on their guys too quick.
Yeah, I mean,
Atlanta, I would not be a seller.
Yeah, no.
One bad year.
Sure. The only guy I'd consider would be Sale because the contract up at the end of the year.
Contracts can be different, but some of these guys, they get rid of their young guys way too early. I'm a Pirate fan. I know all about it.
No. Chris, it's a pleasure as always.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for
stepping
being
in.
with us.
pleasure.
Alex, good work as always. Good job this week. Ryan, Sean, Vince, and Drew Dog, Jerry. Thank you all as always. We're back on Monday at 10 a.m. right here on Sports by the Book. Of course, we'll see our friend Dwayne Colucci join the show, as he always does on Monday. Live as always from the South Point Hotel and Casino here in lovely Las Vegas. Make sure you're following us on the YouTube page. Make sure you're subscribed because there's going to be more NFL previews coming out through the weekend. Giants today, correct, Ryan McCormick? Big Blue. The preview out today and the Jets coming out tomorrow. And we didn't have to redo that because Justin Fields' toe is still on his foot.
He's fine. They showed him running over to the fans this morning.
I think he's okay after initially. Hey, look, when it's reported as he's on the cart, you think the worst.
Well, it's the Jets, too.
Oh,
I mean, come on.
I know that one very well, to say the very least. We'll see you on Monday, guys. It's been a good week here on Sports by the Book here at the South Point Studio.